Hi everybody, this is Levi Clay and I would like to welcome you back to my series, Guitar Books That You Must Own. In this episode we're going to talk about Les Wise and his book, The Bebop Bible. Les Wise, wise by name and wise by legacy. I have a copy of the Bebop Bible here that I've printed out, or at least here's the first half of it. The other half I've got printed out in there because it's a book which I found very hard to find an original copy of, that we're going to talk more about what you could do regarding that in a second. Fantastic book, very dense in terms of musical material, and it was, as I might have hinted, written for all instruments, and therefore we have no tab. You're noticing a theme here. I love this book because it was suggested to me by guys like Sean Baxter and Martin Goulding as a great way to learn vocabulary and to understand how bebop players construct their lines in terms of length of vocabulary. We're looking at 4 and 8 note phrases here. When you learn, 1,000 different 4 and 8 note phrases, it puts you in a position where you're able to construct much longer phrases by combining the vocabulary that you've already used, or already learned, I should say. People often look down on that, but is that not how I'm communicating with you now? I didn't invent the word communicating, or with, or you, or now, but I can use them in many different contexts in order to express myself. The thing I really like about this book, and the thing that really stuck with me, is that he breaks all of his ideas down into the interval that they start on. So I'm looking at a page here, minor ideas starting on the 2nd or the 9th. And there's a fair few of those. Dominant ideas starting on the root, dominant ideas starting on the flat 3rd, dominant ideas starting on the 5th, dominant ideas starting on the 6th, or the flat 7th, or the 2nd or the 9th, the flat 5th, the sharp 5th, the flat 9th, the sharp 9th, etc. It's incredibly detailed, and as I say, I must own, I've printed this out because I've been unable to source the original, but this is where things become a little bit more interesting for guitar players. Hal Leonard have released a book called Bebop Licks for Guitar. Now, Bebop Licks for Guitar by Les Wise, from what I can gather from looking at the two, is essentially a condensed version of the Bebop Bible. You have the same style of education, same style of study, dominant ideas starting on the flat 7, dominant ideas starting on the 2nd or the 9th, etc. And this time we do have tab, which will come in handy for any of you out there that are looking to learn jazz vocabulary but you don't have great reading chops. Fantastic book. On the cover it talks about style of Tal Farlow, Pat Martino, Wes Montgomery, Joe Pass, Johnny Smith and more. You know you're going to be in good company. Les, a fantastic writer, one of the big daddies of education, jazz education, and therefore you know that this is going to be money well spent. Still got a receipt on the back for mine, and it was £9.95, so why not? And CD included, so not really going to hurt you to pick that one up, is it? As I say, fantastic amount of material in here to study, going all the way from, as I mentioned, the shorter lines where you're playing 4 or 8 notes, and then moving on to more in-depth studies. Like here we've got 2-5-1s starting on the 5th of the 2 chord, and these are obviously 4-bar phrases, and just being able to see these stacked up. This is this first page here, obviously I'm sure you can't see this all that well, is a great example because the D minor lick is the same for these first 3 licks, but where that lick is then taken for the rest of the line differs. So it's a great way to see how a jazz player might begin with a phrase and then take that phrase in lots of different directions. So to repeat, we've got the Bebop Bible and Bebop Licks for Guitar by the great Les Wise. I would highly recommend you check these ones out. They're personal favourites of mine, which is why I've covered them so early on in this series. What do you think? Have you read this book? Have you read the Bebop Bible? Do you recommend them? Are they things you use for study or your own teaching? If you've got comments on this video, if you want to delve into further discussion, we have a comments box below. If you want to get to know me in there, please do feel free to. If not, please do hit the subscribe button. It certainly helps the channel out, and of course, copying the link and sharing this with your friends is an even bigger help. I appreciate all of your support, guys, and hopefully I'll see you again for another video soon. Peace out. Bye.